And we're live.
Yay!
Oh.
I think we're live now.
I thought that was an audio issue for a second. Oh my gosh, we're getting feedback all of a sudden.
That's me. I am feedback. It happens. It happens.
Oh my goodness.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Welcome everybody. I'm going to pull it up on my phone.
Okay, a lot of you guys are also excited about the beautiful guest that we have here with us today. We actually got on a couple minutes early, right, ladies? And then, oh my God, we got to go live.
We should push that button.
Right. We have Linda and Rita from the Cat Behavior Alliance here today. We had the extraordinary pleasure of being on their podcast a few weeks ago, a month ago.
Probably, yeah.
It hasn't aired yet.
Been a little while.
I'm waiting for it to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask, when is it coming out?
Well, our producer, Mark Winter at Pet Life Radio, he tends to release our podcast like every other week because he does everything at Pet Life Radio. He's one busy guy. So we don't push him too much. You know, whenever it comes out, it comes out.
Okay.
So,
just keep watching. We just keep
probably
watching.
a couple weeks. Probably a couple weeks.
That's
It's
actually
coming
a good
though.
thing, yeah.
Keep your eyes out, you guys, for 19 Cats and Counting. We had a blast with you guys, and we can't wait to get together again. And here we are, live on our
Here
Facebook.
we are.
Did you get
Is it working?
notification? I'm not getting notification.
Hold on, I'm gonna double check.
Oh, we are live. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You know how we found you is we were trying to name the company. We're trying to find a name for the company, and we were thinking, your dad suggested, Linda, how about Crazy Cat Ladies? And so I Googled it and I went, oh, there's two Crazy Cat Ladies.
There's two Crazy Cat Ladies.
And
These are our people. These are our people.
So funny. You're like our alter egos, right?
We feel the same.
Right?
We feel the same.
You're
so,
our long-haired twins.
yes.
There you
Right,
go.
right?
Perfect. Yes, and the blonde and the brunette. We got this down.
Right?
We do.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
The only difference is we don't even live in the same town
I know,
or
we
same state. We're trying to fix that, but COVID, you know.
Yeah.
COVID is
I know.
Yes.
the Rona. Hey, so before we get rolling, can you guys do a quick intro? Just kind of let everyone know who's who, a little background on you guys, why you're so fabulous, and how you changed the world.
Okay.
Rita,
Do you want me to go first, Linda?
That's a lot of pressure. Fabulous and change the world. Yeah, you go first, girlfriend.
Okay, well, we're trying to change the cat world.
This is way too much pressure.
My name is Rita Reimers, and I originally had a cats-only pet sitting business. I left corporate America in 2006 to concentrate on that full-time. At the same time, I was working for Richard Simmons, associate producer of his radio show, pulling music for his studio, etc. Going on the Richard Simmons Cruise to Lose is where I met Linda. Linda and I have known each other for, I don't know, probably 20 years now, I'm thinking. So long story short, Linda, when Richard retired and she wasn't going to have a job anymore, she ran richardsimmons.com for 17 years. So I heard through the grapevine she was going to be available, and I was trying to launch my membership club for the cat. I can't think right now, for the cat behavior.
Yes.
Part of my business at the time.
That thing. That one
I
thing.
called her and I said, would you be interested in coming to work for me? When do I start? So from there, we became best friends. She helped me run the pet sitting business for the last 4 years of its existence. COVID kind of killed the rest of it. We wanted to get out of it anyway because our passion lies with cat behavior and helping people to keep their cats in the home by understanding what motivates those behaviors that they don't like, and how to get your cats to go into behaviors that are acceptable and correct those ones that are not acceptable. After volunteering in rescue for so many years, I've just seen too many cats being given away for things that could have been solved with just a little bit of knowledge. So then Linda, she was working kind of behind the scenes with me trying to launch this company. And I said to her one day, you know as much about cat behavior as I do now. Why don't you get certified and we'll do this together? That's why then we came up with a new name for the company, the Cat Behavior Alliance, because we are an alliance. We do all of our behavior sessions together. You get both of us. And Linda, actually, for a long time, you didn't trust your knowledge of cats. I kept telling you knew as much as I did. But what's awesome, though, is that I'm not good with the buzzwords and the terms. Linda and I both took the course at ABC College, Animal Behavior College, and she'll come up with these terms, and I'm like, go.
Because they make me feel smart and fancy.
You are.
We
fancy.
must initiate counter conditioning with your cat.
And I'm like, what?
Doesn't that sound fancy?
I'm doing it. I'm doing it, but I don't do the words. She does.
That's I always use the. I'm always like, okay, look up. I don't know how. I don't understand it as well as you guys do, obviously. But I'm like, look up counter conditioning and desensitization. And she's like,
Yes.
that's not how you say it. I'm like, desensitization.
Exactly. My other favorite word is crepuscular. Cats are not nocturnal.
Yeah.
Is that your word? It's my word. We are crepuscular. They are crepuscular. I love that word. It makes me sound so smart.
So tell them about you, Linda.
So yeah, I was raised with dogs because my mother's allergic, and so dogs were what I knew. But my husband Dan, who's since passed, he loved cats. And so he was always trying to get a cat into the house. And we finally, I don't remember how long ago, started collecting cats. It turned out it wasn't intentional. And I was just turning to Rita because I knew her from Richard, turning to her for, advice and help. And I've got this and I'm going to be bringing in another one. What do I do? And I just found it all fascinating. And the best education in the world is just going to Rita's house and watching her with 19 cats. A true story. And she's talking to them and trying to eat and, and this one goes here and that there and watching. And I just found it fascinating because she'd say like, oh, back off of her. Look at her ears. She's looking unhappy. You leave her alone. And she could see these things coming. And I just thought that was like a secret language, right? Like
it is a secret language.
Yes, exactly. So I just was fascinated. And the more I dove into it, the more amazing it is. Cats are nothing like dogs. They may be the same. You may be able to find a cat and a dog that are the same size. They are not the same animal. Somebody just asked me today, why don't people start taking their cats in the car to get them used to it like people do with dogs? I'm like, because dogs aren't cats and cats aren't dogs. And some cats may appreciate that, but chances are you're going to get a scratched up, back of your seat. The leather's going to be torn up. And the minute you try to get out of that car, that cat's going to bolt. So, it's not a dog.
You forgot to tell them about who you are and what's your background and the fact that you've raised 8 children and blah, 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 all that.
More pressure. Who are I? I are Linda Hall. I've raised 8 kids through my house, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of similarity between kids and cats. I tell Rita all the time. She always says, well, I didn't have any human kids. Yeah, you know more than you think you know. They're very similar. Yeah. I had Nikki, and then I married Dan, and he had 3 kids, and then we had BP, so we had 5 kids in the house, and then he passed in 2002. In 2004, I married Brian, and he had 2 daughters that we got custody of, so I'm just used to having a house full of kids. But now that the kids have dissipated and gone off, I'm just collecting cats.
Wait a minute. You left out the most important thing about you.
What's that?
Linda Hall, at the time Linda Woodson, was the first infomercial success story for Richard Simmons.
What?
Write this down. I don't think we talked about this last time.
Okay.
No.
You have to get the movie What Women Want with Mel Gibson. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how you've seen it before, ladies?
Yes.
Okay. You know how he's watching, and once he gets, first he's the man, and he's flipping past, Martha Stewart baking a cake, whatever, and he's like ridiculous and landing on basketball. Then, when he becomes more sensitive, he's flipping past them, and he lands on a Richard Simmons infomercial. The chick in the black and white dress is me.
Stop.
I made Mel Gibson cry. So you watch like Braveheart, and you go, wussy, I made him cry. It ain't nothing.
Oh my God.
But Linda, that's the first time I ever met Linda, way before I met her in person. I knew who she was. Everybody knew who she was. She was on the cover of magazines. She couldn't go to the
Women's
grocery
World
store without people going, Linda Woodson, I know who you are. She was a major deal.
It was weird. I'm just me. Like, I'm going home to scrub the toilets. What are you doing with that? Yeah, but it was
then
fun.
she started choosing the success stories for the website and arranging the infomercial shoots and everything. And she called people and they were like, oh my God, it's Linda Woodson. I know who you are.
Kelly O'Leary, she sent in these pictures and it was just amazing. And so I called to talk to her. You know, you got to see how they're going to be on camera and such. And I said, hi, my name is Linda Woodson. I'm calling with Linda Woodson, Linda Woodson. And she just lost it. And I'm like, I'm nobody, honey. What is happening?
But you were. You inspired a lot of people, including me. Where I was once in shape.
Yeah, well, me too. I got to get that weight back off. But yeah, Sally Jesse Raphael show. Richard took me on some fun trips. I did some fun stuff.
Oh my God, that is so exciting. When's your book coming out?
Right? We've talked about that. I need to. Believe me, it's been an odd life. Well, and with the movie, so I did this infomercial, and so one day I get this phone call. One of my kids was on their way to piano lessons. And I get this phone call, and the lady says, hi, my name is Beth Unger Morrison. I work for Paramount Studios. And I'm like, lady, you got the wrong number. Well, then she said, I got your number from Michael Catalano. Well, that's Richard's manager, so I'm listening. And yeah, the director, producer, whoever was up late one night, saw the infomercial. It made her cry. She wanted Mel to be sensitive to the things that she was sensitive to. So they wanted to know if they could use the clip.
What?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, Richard actually had to give the okay, didn't he? And he said as long as...
Well, yeah, I didn't, because I don't own the rights for anything I ever did for Richard. So they called him, and he could have signed off the whole thing. But he said you have to get Linda's permission and pay her the standard day player rate. I think it was like $557 or something. So, I mean, I'd have done it for free. I got to make Mel Gibson cry.
I would have done this. I'd have paid you.
Right? Yes. Like, I'll pay you to put it in. Please. Yes.
If it wasn't for Richard, we wouldn't have this business and we wouldn't know each other and I wouldn't have my BFF.
That's right.
Isn't it crazy how it works? How
It is. It is. How people connect and where you see each other and how it all comes together. Yes. And this just became, I was so concerned when Richard was going to retire because there you go, retire, because you know, it was a passion of mine, supporting people and helping people, and I didn't want to go to some desk job, right? And you know, you're 230s here, sir, you know, I don't want to play that game. I want something that I love and can dig into, and this has exceeded my wildest dreams. So yeah.
And it's so, you know, you might
I feel they're underneath me.
They're underneath it.
All of a sudden you see Jay going, what are you doing?
One of my lenses is moving around. Sorry, I keep playing with my eye. But anyway.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so tell us now a little bit about what you guys do, and a little bit about Cat Behavior Alliance and how like often you work, how you take clients, all the stuff and things.
I think I've said this before on a number of our lives, and ever since meeting you guys too, I love being able to share your website with people, because I feel like feline behaviorists are one of the most underused resources. I'm sure your shelter, you realize it's like, if your cat, you can't just whack them with a newspaper and be like, doing that.
Yes.
Right. So the fact that you guys have this beautiful, meaningful, purposeful work. Tell us a little bit more about that. Like, Jason.
Okay. I was doing cat behavior work on the side while I was running what was first the Cat Lady, because it was just my own cat sitting business. Then Richard helped me rename it to Cats 90210 when I started hiring staff. Yeah, I'd bring in a new name. He was trying to help me name it, and he'd go, nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. And I said, Cats 90210. Yeah, that's the one. So, I was always doing cat behavior work on the side because clients would ask me, you know, for help and guidance. And little by little, I started being more well-known in the pet sitting community. I actually went to some pet sitting conferences when pet sitters were starting to go more towards cats only, which there's a lot of them now. At first, I was the only one that was only cats. And people told me, you're never going to make a living doing only cats. I'm like, yes, I am. So I would help some of the other people understand cat behavior that were in the pet sitting world. And slowly it just blossomed. I got really lucky when I moved here to the Carolinas. Right after I moved here, I was called by a website that was called Petcha.com that Chewy now owns to do some videos, behavior videos for their website. I really don't know how these people found me. But I said, oh, I just moved to the Carolinas. I'm not in LA anymore. And they went, wait a minute, where are you? Charlotte, North Carolina? Oh, well, the editor, producer of these, he just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina too. So they put us in touch. She lived 5 minutes away from me. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
I
Wow.
know. So we did all the videos at her house. I brought some of my cats. It was really, really hard. And then she said, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but Cat Fancy's rebranding as Catster. And we wonder if you'd like to do a regular column. So I started writing the behavior column for Catster. At the same time, I renamed the business, the pet sitting business, just for Cats Pet Sitting, because now I was in 2 areas. We opened in the Carolinas too. But along the way, my editors kept saying, you have to stop the cat sitting. You have to focus on the behavior. That's where you're needed. There's nobody in that space right now. Jackson has his show and he's got his foundation, but there's really nobody else in that space doing that. So when COVID came along, we're jumping ahead a little bit. That was a prime opportunity to start this new business. And at first I was just starting it on my own. It was ritareimers.com. We finally got the membership website working. Linda was working with me behind the scenes. And as I realized she knew as much about cats as I did, and she's got the sparkly, I'm more serious. I thought, it would make a good team and be very
the other way around.
Did these together. Yeah.
I'm very serious.
So that's how we just started doing them together. And I decided that this business has to be a partnership. We searched for a name that would represent us well. And I insisted on rebranding everything. I got rid of ritareimers.com because I was never comfortable.
Didn't want a name out there.
Email addresses, Linda Hall at ritareimers.com. I hated that.
Oh yeah,
I hated that.
She felt like she was bragging a little. But there's so many things, especially people that have always said, you're fine. Especially people that have always had dogs, You just naturally assume the dog, the cat does something. Well, if the dog does something, it could be mad, it could be throwing a temper tantrum, it could be this, it could be that, it could be a million things. It's not because it's sick, it's going to let me know if it's sick. The cat is just such a completely different animal. And cats are being surrendered. I mean, we all know the statistics about how many cats are homeless or in shelters or in rescues right now. They're being sent, the biggest reason is for inappropriate urination. Unless there's a neurological condition, we can help with that. You just have to have some patience and put some things into place. Almost every problem we run across starts somewhere with anxiety. Anxiety is always on the edge. You ladies and your cat calm. It's on the counter, right where we line up the
one
bowls.
Of the tools
it's
in
in every night, cat calm. So, there are things you can do, but you have to have the knowledge and the information and the understanding. And if you haven't been raised with cats or you don't understand cats or know how to think like a cat, that's really tough to do.
Well, one of the biggest problems, I think, is people don't take their cats to the vet. And I know it's difficult. It's sometimes very challenging to get a cat to the vet, but we're working with a couple right now that their behavior may have started from anxiety, but I really feel like because of how it's occurring, the cat's crying, and then pees. I think that there's a urinary tract issue going on, but they're very reluctant to take this cat to the vet. And I'm like, look, I can give you all the tools. Linda and I can help you and give you all these things to try, but unless you rule in or out medical issue, if it's a medical issue, none of these things are going to help.
Yeah.
And that's a big challenge, I have to say. I mean, dealing with the fact that people need to understand that our cats, if we're bringing a cat into our family, we've also got to be prepared to take them to the vet when they need to go to the vet. And I think that's a scary thing, especially when it comes to urinary tract infections and that being such a common thing, and just knowing that even stress can cause those.
Right.
Yes.
Cause of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So knowing that, and then not maybe it is stress, right? But we've got to make sure there's not something mysterious happening.
That's right.
We've got to get
100%.
that first, and then we get to use resources like we're brilliant to really start working through what is our cat trying to do.
Yes. Well, and talking about, the anxiety, if you are really hyped up right now, something happened, you just got a hole in your roof or something, and I sit down and try to talk. Now, lady, I need to talk to you guys about something. You're going to be like, get out of my face. I'm too amped up to talk to you right now. And it's the same way in cat behavior. So you get the cat, the vet checkup, and it's fine. And maybe the cat's behavior is based on the loss of another cat that's just passed, and he's grieving, and that's why he's acting badly. However, he's dealing with anxiety and stress. So this is where you need the cat calm, or you need that thing to help calm it down, because nobody can have a reasonable, do good work, accomplish anything when they're in a state of freak out, right? Like, I said, it's just like the humans that are going, I'm going to need a Xanax before I discuss this with you, Well, the cat needs a little something, something too. We got to calm down before we can attack anything. So
That's true.
Yeah, 99.9% of the time, we're talking about anxiety before we even really talk about, it's like first we need to get this anxiety down and get this cat calm. Oh, my babies.
We have cat ADD whenever we see a
Dude,
cat.
it's awful. Yeah. I got 3 on the bed now. We're just adding slowly. It went from 1 to 2 to 3. They're just adding to the fray.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have 3 black cats. Which one is that?
That is Inky.
Inky.
I had to really look. Shadow's smaller, Baka's bigger. That's Inky.
Linda just went through a heck of an integrating a 7-cat
Yeah.
clouder with a 4-cat clouder when her
Yep.
daughter moved in. And plus she has a dog in the middle of all that
Yeah,
too.
and Inky was my son-in-law's cat, and he's just a goofball, and you can do anything to him. Sebastian's always playing with. You can turn him upside down. He couldn't care less. He thinks it's great. He'll do it over and over again, and he'll just flop down and just lay there, walk in front of you and just flop down on his back and look at you like, aren't I pretty? You should, I'm so cute. He'll do it to the other cats, just land on them. He's just the goofiest thing ever.
But they went through a lot of stress and anxiety. First, their daddy went to the hospital. Then he never came back. Then their mommy moved in with her mommy.
And then they moved in with me.
And there's still no daddy. There's all these strange people I don't know in a strange place, 7 other cats and a dog. So yeah, stress.
And Inky took rough too. He used to go around the house howling and making noises, and it was like, baby, there's nothing you can do but just ride it out and try to comfort them and hang in with them. But it was really rough for a minute, but it got, my cat started doing behaviors that we automatically blamed on Nikki's cats because our cats don't do those things. And then we caught Kismet peeing on the stove and went, what? How did that happen? Because it upset the balance. Yes. Uh-oh. So, yeah, you got to take the whole picture and you got to look at when things started, what changes. I tell people a cat's perfect life. You will never leave the house. No one will go out. No one will come in. You will not change furniture. You will not move. Nothing ever changes. That's a cat's dream world.
That's true.
Of course, it's not realistic, but when things happen like that, those are big triggers to watch for behavior problems.
Yeah, I moved cross country with 17 cats from California to North Carolina. And that was stress.
In a car, ladies.
I had to trade my car in to get
fly cross country.
Yeah, I drove 4 days.
Drove.
So yeah, my cats were under a great deal of stress, but let me tell you, once we landed someplace, they were fine.
Yeah.
So, the important thing is the rest of their world stayed consistent. Once we landed, they had their own bedding, their own litter boxes, their own food bowls from where we came from. Then the old furniture got delivered and everything was great again.
More familiar.
Yeah. Sometimes, we just saw a study today that showed that the overwhelming stress of cats are oftentimes related to the cat parents being stressed out and the stress in the home per se, right? So like if we are all super stressed, then our cats, they smell that cortisol that we let off. They take to it and they become more stressed and thus less healthy. Yeah.
Cats are empaths. We always encourage clients to send videos. I'm a total nerd over these videos. I watch them over and over and over. And what is his eyes doing? What are his tails doing? What is he doing? What is she doing? So there was this couple that were just having a really hard time integrating their cats, and they were scared. You all know cats can make some awful noises. That'll make your ovaries shrink. And just hearing those noises, like, it's painful. It's painful. And so they were just really scared. And he was just the quintessential, like, little girl dad, like, my pretty little princess that I must protect. And so he was just a wreck. So I'm watching the cats.
So funny. I was thinking about that couple.
I'm watching the cats, and then I'm watching him. And his foot is tapping, and his leg is jerking. And I'm thinking, this cat's got to be freaking out because dad's losing his mind, right? Like, I don't know. Something bad's happening. I don't know what it is, but some bad's happening. Dad's totally worked up. This does not mean good news. shoes. And I've tried to tell people, I know I'm asking a lot, but you need to try to sit down, calm down, play some music, put on Music for Cats by David Ty, or Relax My Cat on YouTube. I love it. Put on something relaxing. You relax, sit for a few minutes before you start in, and just...
Yeah, but what's sad is that couple, I was going to bring them up for a different reason. They're kind of one of our failures, unfortunately, because they weren't doing what we said. They actually went to Jackson first. They had a session with Jackson. They didn't like what he had to say, so they came to us. And the question they kept asking is, okay, so when does it get better? Like, they wanted a time frame.
Right.
Do these things, it gets better. Eventually, they fired us and they went to somebody else.
They're scared to put the cats together, scared of what's going to happen. And so jumpy. So it's like, until you can do this in a controlled setting, you're not going to get any further.
Mm-hmm. So I feel bad for them, and they're probably not going to stay together as a couple because they're silently blaming each other's cat.
I'll tell you, ladies, do you not see this? Ask any couple what their biggest fight about. If they have kids, cats, whatever. This stuff, especially when one partner comes in with one cat and one partner comes in with the other cat, and your cat's mean to my cat, your cat's a jerk, and you could break up over this stuff, right?
And I think they will, unfortunately. Unless they really start listening, I think they will.
I don't think we've seen this one yet.
But we know we saved we know we saved one marriage, though.
Yes, we did.
We did.
We had a couple that wasn't it 9 months? Yeah, 9 months they hadn't slept together in the bed because one would go into the guest room with one cat and the other would go in the bedroom with the other cat. So when we did a follow-up, they said something about so-and-so was sleeping on the bed with us, and we were like, wait a minute, us? Wait, are you sleeping together? What? So we hung up, and I'm like, we don't only save cats, we save marriages.
Yeah.
It only took them a few weeks of listening to what we suggested. And
thank God it was,
everything was fine.
Well,
That's
I think
awesome.
that's a challenge, though, is that I think a lot of people are looking for that fix.
Yes, they are.
Be able to take a pill, and 20 minutes later, everything's fine. Is there a medication for this? That we need to fix this. They want something fast. And I think with cats, especially like you mentioned earlier, it being like a secret language, cats, their way of communicating is so subtle and very mysterious. And there's a lot of things to really kind of pick up on. And cats are also all individuals. So one cat doing something doesn't necessarily mean that's what it means for another cat. So I think that's what's so helpful about what you do is that you can help, you give that individualized care. Anything that we learn, we love to share with our community. And there are some things that are basics, like, you have 7 cats in one litter box, maybe get a few more litter.
Yes.
But other things.
That could be, actually, that's very wise. That could be an issue. You're very smart.
For sure.
But other things do require that individualized care and taking time to observe the situation.
Yeah. So how does this session with you guys go about? Adrian inhaled a jalapeno right before we came live.
Oh, honey.
Doesn't have COVID. That's Linda.
That's me. Yeah, I was gonna ask you, and I forgot if I should. Now.
We'll let it slide this time.
Okay. I don't think it'll transmit through the mic. I don't know. Yeah.
No mandate.
Let me just say something, and then you can kind of explain. We used to offer. Of course, I used to do in-person sessions. I don't do that anymore because, for one thing, COVID, and for another thing, can't reach as many people. So we do everything via Zoom. But we were, up until this week, we were also offering an inexpensive, for people that didn't want to spend much, phone conference. Well, we decided that's just not working because we can't see them. We can't see their house. We can't see their cats. We all talk over each other. So we got rid of that, and we have 3 different levels of Zoom sessions we offer. We always send a copy of the video. With the least expensive version, they get 30 minutes and they get email support. With the middle version, they get the video, they get email support and 1 follow-up Zoom. But with the Mac Daddy version, which is what most people get, they also get a write-up. So I sit and personalize everything they
personalize,
and I give them like a 25-page write-up of why these behaviors are happening, what they should do in what order, what they should look for body language wise, all these things that Linda and I have created together to help. And I don't just, of course, some of the sections are repetitive I could put them in everybody's, but I personalize it, to make sure I'm addressing what their cat is doing, what the other cat needs to do, what they need to do.
We try when they write and ask for a session, we ask for as many details as possible. And I will sit down and read it, and I'll sit with my notebook and I'll write, the parents' names, and Fluffy was adopted from the Humane Society on 320 and this one and that, And then I kind of come up with what I think my plan is. And then I call Rita and we go through it together, and she says, "Oh, don't forget, we need this, and don't forget." Okay. And then we add that and we get it all together. Then, so when we sit down and talk to them on Zoom, we've already got a pretty good idea. There's usually a few other little things that'll come in that we didn't know, or a few questions that we have, and talking about, how to do it for them. And it really helps doing it on Zoom. We ask them to do it by a laptop or a phone or something if possible, and so they can show us the trees and the litter boxes. And
we always make them start over too. Like, when did this cat enter your household? What did you do? We want to hear it, because sometimes there's more detail in them verbally explaining it than there is in the writing.
Oh yeah, they write about Fluffy and Muffy, and then when we're talking, they say, well, ever since Stitch passed, wait a minute, who's Stitch? And then wait, okay, this is a piece of the puzzle you're missing. They weren't thinking about Stitch because Stitch is gone. So obviously he's not a part of the quotient, but he is. So so we try to get it all together. And then by sending them the recording, y'all know how it is. You walk out of the doctor's office or whatever, and, Jay says to Adrienne, he said I have this for 5 minutes. And Adrienne says, he said 10 minutes. And then they have a fight about it. It's horrible. You should see the fights going on over there. But
Sure.
So this way you play the video back, and you can make a bet and go $10 I'm right, and then you can play it back and win.
We try to make them laugh too as much as possible, because we don't want this to be a heavy experience for them. We're trying to give them hope. A lot of time one or both cat parent is on the edge of getting rid of one or both cats. Usually that's what's happening. So if we can get them to laugh and really listen to what we're saying that we know they're going to do, we can tell. Like, we could tell that one guy wasn't into it because the whole time.
Yeah, we make bats watch that body language. I don't think he's
I even wrote down on my notes, arms crossed, not into it.
He's mad and he's got his mind made up. And that happens. I'm mad. I'm sick of this cat peeing on my stuff. I'm done.
Well, but I think it's so important to realize, and this is why it's so exciting to have you guys on our page, is because I feel like a lot of people do get to that place where they're ready to break up, they're ready to rehome the cat, dump them at a shelter, and then it's like someone says, "Well, did you know such a thing as fetal behaviorist? Like, at least try this." It's like it's a resource that is so valuable when it begins. If your cat starts peeing somewhere, you get them to the vet, make sure there's not an underlying health issue, but then work through it. Professionals are available. And I think it's so important to start soon when you realize that there's an issue. If your cat is hiding, it won't come out like all of a sudden your cat's hiding. But your cat's fighting out of nowhere. It's like, instead of just being like trying to put a cookie sheet between the two of them so they don't kill each other, let's try to dig in and see what's going on here.
Yeah,
and
Yes.
And that's what I love so much about you two is the energy that you bring too. The fact that you're not, it's not like a doctor and like
you bring our stress down.
Yeah.
Aw, thank you.
You come as a pair too, and your prices are not astronomical like some.
No, we want to keep them reasonable because we want people to be able to afford it, And the reason we have the lower tier one is we know sometimes a partner is not into this, and they're not going to spend $249. Maybe they'll spend $99.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe they'll realize that $99 one isn't enough and they really do need some visual.
Well, and let me tell you, if it is something simple, so I think I told you guys the story about my parents, like my favorite story in the world. My mother calls me, they winter in Florida. My mother calls me and is like, "I'm scared your dad's going to kick this cat out. He started peeing on our bed." And they live in a mobile home community, or they did. So, they don't have a washer and dryer in their apartment. It's not that kind of thing. So it was really a problem. And so I said, "When's the last time?" Because Jazzy's never done this, and they've had this cat forever. He's a weird little aloof cat, but he doesn't pee on anything. And so I said, "When's the last time he was at the vet?" Well, it hadn't been that long. And I said, "Have you changed litter recently?" I know especially Jazzy, because when they adopted Jazzy was declawed. They did not declaw the cat. Nobody right. They didn't declaw the cat. The cat was already declawed. And that makes those paws extra sensitive. So, You know, the litter tie said, did you change the litter? Yeah, we switched to something that was lighter for your dad's arms. You know, he's 83. Too bad, Dad. You're going to be going back to the other one. And it solved the problem. And, you know, if we got on the phone with somebody and that happened, we would not send them an invoice, right? We're like,
we don't send invoices till after the call, because if it's something like that, we're not going to charge you.
Change cat litter and send me $200 right now.
I don't think so.
My mother wouldn't send it either. So, you know.
The other thing we offer that we didn't talk about, Linda, is Club Catitude. Do you want to tell them about that?
Oh, yeah. So we started an online clubhouse. It's really just getting going. But the idea is we've got boards. We've got all kinds of things that are exclusive content in there. But the main idea was to have boards, because this is what I ran for Richard for so long. And, you know, people would come on and say, I'm having problems with this. I don't know what to make with this. Have you ever heard of a star fruit? You know, and people would come in and support that. I just blew it. And people would come in and say, you know, it's okay. You know, you can start over now, that kind of support. So we were hoping to get that built up and get people. They also have can email support and get answers from us. You know, again, if it's a complicated issue, we're not going to be able to solve it through an email, but a lot of things are dealable.
But if they're a member, they'll get a 10% discount.
Yeah, and if they're a member, they get a little discount too. So yeah, and that way, you know, you can come to each other and say, my cat's doing this. Is this okay? And hopefully the community will then come in and say, I got one of those. They're just weird. They do it all the time.
And we participate too.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Is this?
Where could somebody join?
Club
at the behavioralliance.com, there's an online clubhouse you can join.
It's called Club Catitude. It's $9.99 a month. $9.95 a month.
Yeah.
Nice. That's very nice. So
and there's videos in there you can't see anywhere else. Also, for easy access, you can get to all our videos that are on YouTube. We put them in there so people can see them. But all the professional videos I did for Petcha.com and the ones that Linda and I did for Catster.com are in there. Actually, Catster licensed them to us directly. They never did release them on their website. Yeah. So that's the only place you can see them is in our clubhouse.
Sad. It was my acting debut.
PDFs of all of my Catster columns are in there so people can read those. The membership boards, we're working on a game. We have to kind of put that on hold right now till we build up some more funds. But we're working on a game called Simon Says. My cat Simon, we call Simon Says. And it's a game to help people learn about cat behavior, to answer questions and get points and win prizes. And then
get enough correct and you'll move forward.
Once a month, we're going to hold a webinar that only people in the clubhouse can access for free. We'll sell tickets to people who aren't members, but if you're a member, you can access any webinar we do for free, and we'll put it inside the clubhouse too.
Yep.
How cool is that?
We're happy to give you a login.
We even for the last webinar that we did, which was a fundraiser for someone, we gave each of our members a free raffle ticket and free entrance, and then we took their $9.95 fee. And yeah, they did, and we took their dues then and sent them on to the fundraiser. Yeah. So yeah.
We want to do another one of those for one of the rescues that Linda is involved with, FFRC in Defiance, Ohio. That's where she got most of her cats.
Yep, that's where it started.
Friends of
Felines Rescue Center. That lady. Talk about a committed lady, I'm telling you. That's her life. She built it on outside of her home, and now it's just this really big thing, and it's amazing. But I mean, it is her life, and she's been doing it for I think she said 22 years recently.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's a mission.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I compassion fatigue is what I would be so afraid of. I just don't know.
That's why I don't rescue anymore. I can't do it. I volunteered and rescued for a lot of years. After a while, you have got that. You see these people, just giving their cats away. It's awful. Well, what's worse is the ones that turn them out loose on the street. I just got called or tagged today in a private message. Somebody in Norfolk, Virginia?
Norfolk, Virginia, yep.
The rescue person's in North Carolina, and she's like, do you have any space? Do you know anybody? I'm like, I really don't. I can't take on any more. It's not fair to my cats if I go, we're at a good level, but if I keep going, adopting, if I have 40 cats, they're not all going to get the attention they need. Plus I can't afford it.
Well, you're going to kill yourself.
I'm not a 501c3.
Yeah.
I pay for all of this out of my pocket, you know.
As we age, it gets a little tougher to scoop all those boxes. You know.
I just turned 60 at the end of July. Ooh.
Oh
I
man.
hate to even say that out loud, but yeah, especially if they're kittens. I really don't want to take in more kittens because I'm going to be 85 taking care of kittens, you know.
Yeah.
Taking care of
Yeah,
cats.
you have to think about that. And I think it's an important point to make. You know, we were talking earlier about being prepared to take your cat to the vet when you need to go to the vet. You know, if that's same with kids. Like, oh, my kid's arm just fell up. I'm wondering what I should do. You know,
I've been to the vet so much this year that they joke.
You should post your question on Facebook or Quora is what you should do, because that's what everyone else does.
Right? Like, but we also need to be able to be forward thinking enough to recognize that however many cats we have to be able to evaluate, are we able to responsibly care for them?
Yes.
All the time. How many cats are too many cats? And it's like, that depends on your situation. However many you can responsibly care for is,
in an environment that is enriching for them, right?
Yes. Yes. And yes, food,
How many
play.
cats are too many cats? We always say.
Have you ever seen that? I can't think of her name. There's a lady that was YouTube viral for a while, and she did a song, How Many Cats is Too Many Cats? There's no such number. It was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. It was hysterical. And and
6.
My answer is 11, because this is different.
My answer is 19.
Yeah.
and
I'd like to get back down to, not that I want anyone to pass away, but as, you know, they get older and they pass, I'm not getting any more. I'd like to get down to 6 was a good number. I moved out to LA with 6, came back with 17.
You don't want it to be a huge chore. I mean, if you're scooping 15 litter boxes twice a day, right, this is going to take some of the joy out of your heart.
That's true.
Just a little. And I just don't have any other places to put another litter box.
I don't either.
It's absolutely impossible. I finally sacrificed my bedroom, and it was...
You've got to
not
put the
happy.
boxes where the cats hang out, right? Which is usually where you hang out. I found out I have a cat room upstairs. That's where the newbies go to be for a while until I'm ready to integrate them. You know, boxes and cat trees and stuff. Nobody wants to be in that room because I don't spend time upstairs unless I'm in my office. So
it's a huge, super cool room. They've got their own room. They couldn't care less because she's not up there.
They never go in it.
Yeah.
It's true, and yet people think that cats are so aloof and they're not attached to their people. Yeah. I think that's another thing.
Yeah.
That contributes to
It's
their...
so not true.
Well, and they think that if their cat doesn't want to be held or pet, that they don't love them. You know.
Yeah, and that's not true.
Questions that are like, why doesn't my cat love me? They won't let me pick him up. And I think, well, it's believe me, you guys saw our Pooh Bear. That was big orange ginger.
Yes, gorgeous.
He's a little love bug. He does not get on your lap. He does not like being picked up. He loves to be near
rarely
you.
likes being petted. It's only by like one of us now. It wasn't for a long
But you
time.
have to respect their space.
Yes.
That said, I don't go up to humans and just, who was it that said that?
I think you said that.
No, it was someone that we were interviewing.
Probably Dr. Markowski. You don't just go up to a human and
just
like
pick
them
them
up and
be like, oh my God, you are so pretty. Come here.
yeah.
You know what
I actually have been working on an article, and I haven't got my full gist yet, but basically that cats teach consent. And I believe everyone should have a cat in their home. If you're allergic, go get shots. You'll get over it. Everyone should have a cat in their house, because you don't inflict yourself on a cat. You don't force a cat to love you. Good luck with that.
Oh, right.
You know, and you should not be doing that to little girls and teaching them that they don't have control over who touches their body. Boys need to learn that. Girls need to learn that. Everybody needs to learn that. You learn how to treat a cat and apply it to human beings. Cats teach consent.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really
yeah.
true. And it is about invitation and building trust.
And building that trust.
Yes.
Talking earlier about it is scary that the couple that fired you guys, and because they wouldn't let their cats together. We went through a scary time with our Pooh Bear when he was first with us, because he was that violently aggressive cat.
Wow.
Leather gloves and overcoat, and
Just to pick him up and get him to the
I mean, if
vet.
he hit you, you felt it. I mean, he was like a boxer. I mean, he was like, bam.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it took a long time, because you realize that cat is not going to be accepted, right? But it was scary to think about integrating, because anytime that we gave them their supervised time, it was, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, and then it was like, are we cat that was going to be in shelter? We were we're waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Is this new cat going to kill one of our cats? Like
Yeah.
literally, is this going to happen? So I think, you're talking about
That's
cats.
exactly it.
Okay? It is understanding that in the rest of the cat is a scared cat. It's
Right.
about giving that cat time,
Yes.
asking for permission when appropriate. And to this day, like he loves to be near us, but he's not.
He doesn't really like to be touched
Uh-uh.
or held or over petted or he
Yeah.
likes to brush, but only for a certain amount of time, and then he will tell you. Like,
Yeah,
stop
usually
that.
with the,
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah.
Right?
Rita's got a cat, Bella. She's so gorgeous, and she's a greeter, and she loves me, and she always waits on that bar when I walk in the
Beautiful.
door to come visit, and she's right there, and she's, hi, come love me. But you get about 3 pets, and you'll get a nip if you don't stop when it's, you really got to watch her. She's got her limits of how far she's going to go, and that's it.
But we know that now.
But we know that, yes, and we know to
What are
watch
the
her.
options of communication? I think that's something that we humans really don't understand is that
Mhm.
you go up to somebody and you're like, I really just, you know what? It has been wonderful.
Yeah,
to
like that old
meet
man
you.
on the cruise.
Right?
Exactly, yes,
Oh,
yes.
what you just did reminded me back when I was working in my IT career. There was this lovely woman I worked with, very maternal, but I don't like being touched anyway by people I don't know. She would come up behind me and she'd do it to everybody and just rub my shoulders. And I was like,
Now see, I'm a toucher. I'm a hugger. I'm touchy-feely.
I
But
hug
don't
you,
just
I
come
know
up and start loving, I don't know you. No,
but the cats
no,
are the
no.
same. The cats are the same way.
Yeah,
There are
exactly.
options to say, hey, back up. They don't have they don't even have the facial muscles for like
Mhm.
expressions of moving their eyes or whatever. Their options to communicate with us are this. It's a little nip and a tap, honey.
Yep, exactly. Yep, knock it off. Yep.
If they wanted to rip your face off, they could.
Oh, without a doubt.
I think, they're letting you know, listen, I got respect the space. Just got this little
You're like,
toy.
Friday.
oh, she's walking around the toy.
My cat Precious was like that. I don't think you ever met Precious, Linda.
I don't think so. I think Precious
When I was living
gone.
in LA, and the gal that I was co-hosting Richard's radio show with, she'd come over and she would insist on petting Precious, and I'm like, don't, because she's gonna bite you. Don't force yourself. That I'm the only human that can touch her. Well, she'd get bit every time. And she wouldn't listen to me.
have to tell you.
It has been amazing because I come visit Rita for periods of time. And when she was in the apartment, I'd stay at a hotel, so I wouldn't be in an apartment a lot. And she always had her steadfast greeters. Colby was one. May he
Oh,
rest in
poor
peace.
Colby.
And Simon
Tinkerbell.
and
Tinkerbell.
Bella. And yeah, there's certain cats that would come greet me. And there were
Pumpkin.
others who wouldn't come near me. But then, oh yeah, Pumpkin. I love that cat. But then slowly but surely, I come to visit. Like just my last visit, I've known Lovey for 5 years, and all of a sudden Lovey decided to let me
I
in.
think Lovey
And-
knew he was gonna
well,
die.
Lovey was sick, but yeah, and all of a sudden he was laying on my hip, and I mean, I was in tears. That is a huge freaking honor, right? The cat just accepted me. This is gigantic. Yeah, I'd be like, he
Yeah,
loves
but-
me.
I know.
She was with me when I had to put him down, and he made sure he crawled over. Linda's gonna cry now. He made sure he reached over to Linda while we were in there and said goodbye to her too.
I was trying to be respectful of the mother-son moment, and so I'm standing on the end of the bed, where I can be there for Rita, and all of a sudden he just starts pawing over towards me. She goes, Linda,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
petted him too, and I'm like, I was just,
He had cancer, and
oh!
we'd already cut out a big tumor from his leg.
Yeah, it was
And
so bad.
it was inside his lymph nodes. It just spread. He had tumors all over his body.
bad.
It was time to let him go.
That's what we had to do, but yeah. And I was glad I was there to do it, so you didn't have to do it alone. But yeah. Ugh, but yeah, when they accept you and give you that love, and I would never just, flop on Rita's bed and be like, love me. I need your love.
No, they come to you, and she won't sleep in my guest room because she wants to be on the sofa because all the cats will come visit her, and I know that because some of the cats that usually sleep with me, I don't see them when she's here, and I'm like, okay, they're with Linda. I get a little more space in the bed tonight.
Yep.
While you can.
Yeah, it's the same way here. It's like our living room where our couch is the cat's room. And when I'm not a big TV watcher. I'm not really big into, I'm always on the go. I don't really like to sit down and relax too much. But Adrian will be like, can we please, the cats would love it if we could just get on the couch. And every time we do, it's like she's on one side, I'm on the other, and all the cats.
Aww.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, wow, let's spend some time together. Yeah.
And there, yes.
We have about 10 minutes left. And I thought, if we've got, I'm not sure if we've got comments coming through, but
we do. We've
had-
got a ton of. I just
We're having so much fun talking, we forget there's people.
I know. Oh, are we doing something? Oh, are there people out there?
But I thought it would be fun if people do have a couple questions we could get to in a couple minutes.
Yes.
I thought it might be fun for you guys to cover maybe one or two of your more hilarious adventures with cats in this
adventure of
behavior
behaviorist.
adventure. Yeah.
You know, we've had, I don't know if we told you guys this, but we once had somebody call and ask us,
Oh yeah.
how do I keep my cat from eating human feces?
Just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah. And we were like,
What?
wait,
Well,
let's-
first I'd like to know
flush
where
the
the species
toilet?
is that the cat is getting. Uh-huh.
But turns out they were like trying to conserve water and they left their toilet open. But it was kind of like, well, maybe you could flush the toilet.
Uh-huh.
or close the toilet
Like
if
what?
you're conserving water.
Or close the lid, and they make those little
Uh-huh.
locks so that kids can't open them and stick their head in the toilet and throw your
Yeah.
cell phone in there.
I
Yeah.
had a client here. Remember that big, beautiful house, Linda, that I couldn't get
You
in
got
that one
locked
day?
out of? Yeah.
There was
She couldn't
one
get the door
bathroom-
open one day, so I pulled the house up on Google Maps or whatever, and I'm sitting with my daughter going, Rita's right there, going, let me in, let me in. We had the best time with that.
They had one
Horrible
bathroom
human being.
that was off the kitchen that was just for the cat because he would only drink water out of the toilet. So nobody ever went to the bathroom in there, but I had to flush it every day so the water would be fresh. Go figure. I don't know.
Do you remember the client that I was taking his intake, and I said, to use filtered water, tap water, whatever,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he said that the chilled Evian in the refrigerator, and he's going on and on about how this has to be filtered and that has to be perfect, and we're used to that, whatever, this is our job. And then he said, tell them not to close the toilet lid because the cat likes to drink out of the toilet.
And we're like, okay, so you do this filtered water with the Avion, but then he drinks toilet water.
Yeah, so am I supposed to put the Avion in the toilet?
Right? Maybe that's what I should have asked. I
That's a
think
good
my
question.
favorite, there was a kind of a senior housing complex, and the man
Oh,
had a
right.
cat. The man had a cat, and they needed somebody. This is when we were doing the pet sitting, and they needed somebody to come in, and she wanted somebody to come in. I think it was like once a week or something. And I said, well, who will be feeding the cat the other days? And she said, do they need to eat every day?
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you?
Most of our funny stories are more around the pets, the cat sitting and the cat behavior. We want to write a book about that.
Yeah.
To
Do they
protect
need
Oh
to
my
eat?
God.
About the
Do they
one
need
that
to
I
eat
had
it?
to weigh the food. I had one cat food client. She did dry food. I had to count out the number of pieces each cat got. And one cat had a weight problem. So he got less treats. Then the wet food, she had one of those little weight loss scales. I had to put the bowl on, take the tear, and then weigh the food to make sure each cat got exactly 2 ounces of wet food. Yeah.
And I get some people
Those cats
being,
were starving.
yeah.
Did you connect and be like eyeball the 2 ounces?
I actually did, not the wet food, but I would give a little more dry because the wet food they could tell how much was used. She put out all the cans and she numbered them 1 through whatever, how many days
Well,
they were going to.
One of our sitters called me one day, and she had one of those clients, and it's this and it's this and it's this, and they were, I think, 4 cats, and this one can have like 17 greenie treats, and this one can have, but this cat, poor cat, because the cat's chunky, the cat can't have any treats. And she
none.
said, Linda, I don't know if they have cameras or not, but I gave that cat a treat. I'm not giving the other cats a treat, not that cat. And I'm like, we got your back. It's okay.
I don't
How
know
could
what
you do
people
that?
are thinking.
What do you give kids? Here's a lollipop for you and a lollipop for you. Oh, listen, Chunky, you ain't getting no lollipop. It's just wrong.
How about Pepper Cat? That Cyan used to
Oh, Pepper was a little cray-cray. Poor Pepper. I think there was a neurological condition. And God bless
Sure.
Pepper's daddy. Pepper's daddy gave up dating because Pepper does not like strangers. And I mean, it was full
Vehemently.
protection mode going in there. It was that poor cat. He was fine with just his daddy, but nobody else. And He preferred women to men. Unfortunately, his dad's dates were men, so he just gave up dating for this cat. And I was like, I think I love you, right? Like, I would never ask anyone to give up their whole life, but
we offered him a free behavior session because we were going out to LA. He didn't take us up
he had
on
something going on or something. But yeah, I wished he'd have followed up on it a little more because it would have made it easier.
Cyan had to, there was a broom by the door, and Cyan had to enter and pick up the broom and kind of scoot the cat away in order to do anything, the food, the litter.
He would come after her.
And then getting a substitute when Cyan wasn't available. Nobody wanted to back up Cyan when she took vacation. Nobody wanted to go see
Nobody wanted to go and see that poor cat. Nobody.
Yeah.
We should have.
Lion's Den.
We should send him an email and tell him about Calm Cat, Cat Calm, whatever that.
We should. I'm sure.
Yes, we should.
Oh my gosh, let's do that. Let's do that.
Yes, I was just thinking. I haven't thought about him in a while. Be like, I got help for you and Pepper. Yes.
We were just talking about you and your crazy.
Yes, exactly. Your crazy cat.
Watch. He's probably watching this going, oh!
I know. Hi, John. But yeah, you know, and that's what we like to see. Too many people consider cats disposable, and I'm sorry, but you know, we get clients. There's a good behavior one. We get clients that say, you know, my boyfriend's gonna leave me. My boyfriend says I have to get rid of the cat. My boyfriend says it's the cat or him. Bye, boyfriend. Don't let the door hit you, because you have taken this life in, and I don't think that they understand the emotional damage they do. This cat has taken you on as the territory. I love to tell people, a cat, in a cat's world, every being fits into one of three categories. You are either part of my social structure, or you are a predator who's going to eat me, or you are a prey who I'm going to eat. So every time somebody comes into your house, they have to make an assessment, and they only become part of your social structure with time, with adopting those scents, the familial scents. You know, your cats know your scent. They've made it part communal with their scent, and you are part of their clouder and their family. So they know you're safe. That takes time. That takes scent swapping. That takes patience. That takes building of trust and proving to your cat that you're not a jerk who's going to eat them. And so, you know, if they're not sure you're part of their social structure and you're not small enough to eat, doesn't that make you a predator?
Well, and that's what kills me about the...
Madison just said, I would get rid of my hubby before my cats.
Good girl, Madison. That's my girl. Yes. Yes,
Linda,
ma'am.
you get a lot of crazy questions. Linda's on Quora very regularly. You get a lot of crazy questions on Quora, I know.
Yeah. Just ridiculous stuff. I've had people fight me about not spaying and neutering. This guy really went toe to toe with me. How dare, would we do this to a child? Would you take your 2-year-old child and cut off his nads?
It's not the same.
My cat does not dream of getting married and making a family and making babies, right? It's a cat. He was going toe to toe. It's cruel. It's cruel. And I said, you know, you are going to save on so much. It helps with behavior problems. And that's one of the first things in that textbook when they start talking about behavior. Spay and neuter, spay and neuter, spay and neuter. This can really solve a lot of your problems. There are so many cancers. There's females. There's I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a P. There's
Diametra.
That's the one. It's an infection of the uterus, and it fills up with pus, and it's deadly. It can kill you. Gone by spaying. Mammary cancers. You get your cat spayed in the first, I think it's 4 months of life, and you cut down 91% risk of mammary cancers. 91%.
That's cute.
Why would you not want to do this? You know, people just,
Overpopulation. You know, we're from Tennessee. We actually had indoor-outdoor cats for a while, not really even thinking about anything because we were 20 but we're like, oh, we got cats.
Yep.
If you've got a feral cat, you know, they're never going to be happy indoors. So the best thing you can do is TNR, you know, trap, neuter, release.
I mean, you think about the work that like Sterling Trapking Davis does. What a beautiful human. And he's going out there and handling the situation in a way that is compassionate. I'm all for humans trying to be more empathetic. I don't know about
Yes.
That's a bridge too far for me. But I do think it's so important for us to take the time to try to better understand. And I think that the fact that you are a resource that can help us see past our own, you know, it's like that perspective thing. When you're up front, it's hard to get that 30,000 foot view and be like, oh, here's what it could be, right? Like,
yes,
close to something that's hard for us. and the fact that you guys can help identify those things and make it where this beautiful little being that we've invited into our family forever is going to have a more peaceful, happy.
Yes.
Buy those damn videos of people scaring their cats.
Oh my God, we just
were talking about that.
Yes. The cucumber. What was the other one? The cucumber, and there was another
comb. Have you seen the comb?
Yes.
Take a comb and run your finger down the tines, and it goes. It makes cats gag. These cats are literally going. Yeah. That's funny. That's not funny.
Did you see the one with the lady who put a cat mask on and scared the crap out of her cat?
Oh,
horrible! I don't know.
Those big cat masks that they have, like they sell them at Walmart and stuff. I said, do you know the damage you just did? Your cat smells you, and yet you're freaky and huge, so you must be a predator. Do you know the psychological damage you just did?
I know. I'm not gonna say that some of it isn't funny when our cats just randomly get scared out of something. Like,
oh yes,
we've given us a blow up dinosaur at one point.
Shout out,
shout out to Becky. So we blew up the dinosaur, and we were like, oh, let's put this on one of our videos.
We were gonna do like a story with it. We were gonna do like whatever.
And the cats were like,
oh no.
But see, you didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, you weren't attempting to scare the cat.
I've done stuff by accident too, and it's funny, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry.
I pointed that out, though. I think that's important for all humans to kind of remember, especially when they're having guests over, that our cats have basically 3 options. You can see them as part of your social structure, a friend, basically, part of your someone who's trying to
eat them.
Or praise. It's like,
I need to get them.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Act them. Right. So I think that's understanding cats.
Yes.
So helpful. All right. So we are literally almost out of time.
Oh.
Can you guys give who is that?
That's Dexter. That's my favorite.
Dexter.
She said she lost another cat, and she said, I'm not taking it anymore unless they come to my door. So we're doing a behavior session, and she looks over on her deck, Dexter. So he ends up coming in the house, just made himself at home.
The day after Sonny passed away.
I think Sonny sent him. I do.
And then he came back a week to the day after Sonny passed away, and I was able to just pick him up and bring him in the house. He's the most well-behaved. He's about 9 months old now. I can clip his nails, and he doesn't care.
That's like something.
He's
black cat.
Somebody treated him good when he was a baby.
I have yet to meet a black cat like ours are like just the most perfect cats ever. Like,
yes,
I know
it's true.
And I don't know why there's still that stigma around black cats.
I don't know.
He's still back there.
There's those eyes. I love that. Yes. When we were shooting our podcast, yes, these little eyes are just up over the back of the couch. And I'm like, I love you. I have to pet you. Yeah, Dexter. We think that Dexter belonged to the people that lived behind her. Then they had moved. They had horses. So we think like their grandkids were socializing and playing with him, but he had never been in the house. It's the first time she turned her TV on. Talk about funny. This is mean.
Yeah.
He freaked out. Like, what is that?
He had no idea what the heck that was. He's staring at it like
his eyes got huge. She took a picture. It was just it was funny. Mean but funny. But we didn't do it on purpose.
Accidentally funny. Look at what the paw up now.
Hey, what you doing?
Okay, Decky. Okay.
What you doing there?
I got it. Cool.
Wait, we could talk for like another hour about all this. I swear.
This is too much fun.
But you have to break it down for everybody. Where they find you, how they contact you.
I just pinned your website in our comments here. So if you guys would like to visit, join the club. Join the club. We're gonna
join the club.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Or get sessions. Like we said, it's not overly expensive, and so it's not. It's like way out of reach. You get both of them, not just one. So you get 2 perspectives looking at what's gonna help your kitty, and I think it's totally worth it. So
thank you.
And
I didn't talk about this with Linda, but I would love it if people come and mention that they found us through you. I'd like to offer them 10% off of their behavior session.
And there you go. Thank you, ladies.
That'll work. That'll work. That'll work.
The 2 crazy cat ladies. I know you guys are dealing with behavior issues with your cat, so this is a great opportunity to take advantage of their services and Academy.
I
Generous
love that so much.
discount.
That's
Yes.
so sweet. Yes.
Yeah, so we want to help everybody. You know, we after all those years of working with Richard Simmons, we want to be that. That was his plan. Was he said you couldn't go into Jane Fonda's studio and work out with Jane. He wanted to be reachable and approachable, and that's what we want to be. We want to be able to help as many people and as many cats as we possibly can. That's we're in it.
We
we're
share
in it
our
for.
lives too. We live this, so we share the things that happen to us. Like how many times you get
True
up
story.
up on puke.
Yeah, it's the first call in the mornings. Like, well, I stepped on a pile of puke in my wet bare foot. Yeah, that's fun.
That's always the best.
I don't know if it's better
That's
or
the
worse than
best.
stepping on it in socks. but-
Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually at least peel off.
We're working
Yeah,
on a book.
yeah.
We're working on a behavior book, but I started this a couple of years ago, actually. And now Linda and I are going to write it together, but we're taking our time because we want to make sure we adequately address each problem and the things you need to do before you consult a behaviorist, like go to the vet, see what's different in your household, those type of things. You know, if you just notice and think like a cat, you could probably correct most of the behaviors without even consulting us.
100%.
If you need help, we're there.
Yeah.
Beautiful that you guys do offer so many resources that, well, especially like the community resource, the cat club. I mean, that is really a great resource because I think so many people think that they can't get the answers or afford somebody. And I do love that your prices are very affordable, like $250 for that's the Mac Daddy, right?
Yep.
$250 for the Mac Daddy. The middle one is how much? $149.
$249 for the total package.
Yeah.
$199 without the write-up, and that's just a 60-minute session. The big session's up to 90 minutes, and then the smaller session's 30 minutes. But there's no Zoom follow-up. But you can email us.
I love that. Those are affordable prices. You think about what it costs, and if we've eliminated medical issues, this is a great way to just jumpstart getting something resolved.
Sure.
And you offer so many resources.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be a part of a community too. You know that not all of your friends understand your love for your cats, and when a cat passes or something, there are some of your friends who don't take it too well. So it's really our goal to make up a community of like-minded people that can come to each other with those pains and share those struggles with others who understand it, even though the people in your regular vicinity aren't getting it.
That's why I wrote Sadie's Heart, because there was nothing out there to support when I lost my Sadie. That's a horrible story, but that's how I started really getting more involved in cat rescue and the issues that face cats that find themselves homeless for reasons that they were just being a cat.
Yeah. And that's what we love so much about the cat community is they literally are the most empathetic, most beautiful, kind, considerate, caring people on the planet. So we would not change a thing about our lives because we really love being in the presence of other cat people that really when friends and family.
They're like, oh, I heard about your cat.
Agree.
So did you get the report or?
Yeah.
Yeah, the people that get it really get it. You know,
they do.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
We obviously need to do this again sometime.
Yeah.
Yes, anytime.
Let me do a quick shout out to 19 Cats and Counting, guys. Subscribe to their podcast. They have an awesome podcast, and we'll be coming out on an episode with them soon. And it's so much fun. They are just so much fun to listen to be around. As you guys can see, and click the link. Link is in the comments here pinned. So check out their website, see what they have to offer. If anything works for you guys, then seek their advice because they're awesome. Yeah, and keep us posted.
Yes.
And ladies, thank you so much for being so
Linda.
Beautiful and amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you
We
for
love
having
you
us.
so much. We do. You are the best.
Destination.
Oh, no kidding. We're headed in your direction when we can travel. No kidding.
Opens up.
I'll keep saving up those points for my flights since I haven't used them in a while. They're earmarked for Vegas, baby.
Yes.
Let's go.
We need to have margaritas together.
That's right.
Okay, all right. We love you, ladies, so much.
All right.
For joining us.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
Bye.
We love you. Bye.
See you guys soon. Mwah.
Yes. Mwah.